All right. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the call. It is February 25th, 2016, and I'm super excited for this call. I'd like to start doing more calls where you guys are featured because you're more interesting than me, and everybody likes to hear from different people. So I'd really like to do this more. If you have something you'd like to share, please contact me and we'll get you set up for a call. So I wanted to just go over a few announcements before Katie Walden gets started. First, we have a few more days to hit Success Club. Because it's a short month, I always feel like these shorter months, even like a day or two, makes a big difference. But don't give up. If you're not there yet, don't discount the rest of the month. Things can still happen for you. Just be positive and keep inviting. Go back through anyone that you've invited and touch base with them. And if you really, really want to get Success Club and you feel like somebody's super close, sweeten the deal a little. Say, hey, I'll throw in a couple extra packets of Shakeology. Or I don't know where I spoke about this recently, but the Energize packets that you can get 10 for $13 as a coach, throw a couple of those in. They will love it. They'll buy it, and you've already made, over and above what you spent. It's just like a no-brainer. I'm starting to give those out all the time as prizes in my group and to people on the street. I mean, I'm kidding about that, but I keep thinking about bringing them to my classes that I teach and just passing them out because it's one of those products that you feel an immediate difference. And Shakeology is not that way. It takes a few times, I think, but Energize is the bomb. So anyway, dig deep and think about ways that you can hit Success Club. If you need help, reach out to me. I'd be happy to help you, but just don't give up yet. It's too easy to say, I'll just, get it next month, but don't do that. Get it this month. Achieve and get that goal. I also wanted to talk to you guys about some live events, and I posted in the team page today about the Platinum Presenters Conference. It's called Platinum Edge. So Platinum Presenters, we're in her downline, Christine Dwyer. So it's me, Lindy, Christina Sullins, and Christine Dwyer. So we're really not that far removed from her, but she puts on a conference. She's the only one in all of Team Beachbody that does a separate conference. Maybe there's one other person. I'm kind of thinking there might be one other person. Either way, it's a really big deal, and we're really lucky that we can go to that, being in her downline. I have never been, but every year I'm like, I need to get there because people come back from it just so fired up. And if you've been to Summit, Caitlin has, Summit is wonderful. And Summit is it just pumps you up and you just feel like you want to go get it. This is really more about training. This is, giving you real actual things you can go and do in your business. So it's more focused in, and it's over the weekend. So I feel like that works for a lot of us. It's easier than being gone during the week. There's a VIP price and a regular price. I'm just going to do the regular price. It's a pretty big price difference, and I didn't see that much of a difference in value, but of course, do what you want. Let me know if you have questions about that, but I would love to go with you. I think it would be a really good time, and like I said, I've just heard nothing but great things about it. Also, Super Saturdays. So I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm on the Market Council, or I was on the Market Council for the Central Illinois region, and we plan the Super Saturdays for the region. But Lindy and Annie, they're kind of the leaders of it, and then there's a panel of people me and 6 other people or 5 other people who help. We're like the minions. And our boss, Lindy and Annie, our bosses, they have made the decision to quit doing Super Saturdays as a market council. So our market council is kind of disbanded, and the reason is because we were finding, and I was feeling this too, but they're really in charge. They were finding that they were spending a ton of time and effort putting these together with not a lot of direct benefits to their business. So going is a benefit, but being on the market council and being in charge of all of that was taking a ton of time, and they weren't getting a lot of benefit. Plus, we are in a kind of awkward area because Indy is close to us and Chicago is close to us and St. Louis is close, and those market councils, those Super Saturdays, draw really big events. So, the last one, Carl Deichler and Autumn Calabrese were in Chicago. And so our thinking is kind of like, well, if you can go to Chicago, how are we going to keep people here? Nobody would rather be here, rather than be with those two people. So we're kind of going to let it go and kind of like dissolve the market council for now and let people pick their Super Saturdays that might be a little further. Or we're also doing this thing called Fusion. So it's going to be a fusion, a mixture of Lindy's team and downline and Annie's team and downline. So that's us. And the next one is actually going to be in Mahomet on Super Saturday, which is April something. I forget the date. But it will be at the studio, I think, and we'll have training. And it's more of like a coach camp thing. It's from 10 to 4. So it's, I'm going to mute this one. It's a longer event, but it's more localized. So that's kind of where we're going with this. It still will be, we'll still have the corporate video. We'll still have a workout. We'll still have trainings. It will just be not put on by a market council. It will really be hosted by Lindy's team and Annie's team. So I hope that makes sense. I think it's a good thing. I tend to agree with them that it was a lot of work, and it was kind of like, we just worked so hard, and we would only pull like 100, 150 people to these places, and we really wanted to grow it. So we decided to kind of quit fighting it and just let it be their teams. So anyway, okay, let's move forward. If you guys have questions, of course, write them down, and you can ask at the end here. I'm so excited to have Katie on the call. Katie Walden and I met via Facebook a few years ago, and she's going to tell us how and when she got started. But we had some mutual friends on Facebook, and she kind of found me actually through my like page. She came to a body pump class in Muhammad, and we had dinner, and she became coach. And her business has not always been what it is now. She kind of has had some ups and downs with it. And then something happened recently that just like switched for her, and everything changed, and she hit diamond, and she's making great money, and she's got all this confidence. And it's been really, really fun to watch. So I just felt like she needed to tell her story and kind of tell you guys about that, because I know that as coaches, we go through this up and down, and sometimes when you're in the down part, it's like, oh, this is too hard, I'm just going to quit. But I wanted Katie to talk to you about how she kind of got out of that. So without further ado, Katie, why don't you tell us a little bit more about how you got started?
Okay. First of all, I just want to say thank you guys for all joining in tonight and listening to my story and taking time out of your busy evenings to be here tonight. So like Katie said, I saw her like page on Facebook, and I at the time I had just had my second baby boy, and I was just getting ready to go back to work, and I was exhausted and just physically and emotionally just drained. And I kept seeing her like page come up in her fitness posts, and I thought, I need to get started doing something again. So I joined my first challenge group and had great results. And I was thinking about doing the Shakeology, but I'm kind of like, it's too expensive, I'm not going to do it. And then I had all my coworkers at my job asking me what I was doing, and I thought, well, I could do the discount and maybe run a group and see how it goes. And that's all I was thinking was, I'll get my Shakeology free, and I'll try this group out. I'll try running a group on my own and see how it goes. And I loved it. I loved every minute of running the group. And it was just, I've always been really passionate about health and fitness and nutrition anyways. And so it just came naturally to me, and it didn't feel like work. And it was something, even though I was at a point in my life where I had no extra time or energy or space for anything, I was passionate enough about this to make the time for it. So, so then I ran my first group, and I just absolutely loved it. And I thought, okay, I'm going to do this. So I created a like page, and I got a lot of great reaction from my like page and a lot of positiveness from that. My goal was to run a challenge group every month, but my biggest mistake was not connecting with the team right off the bat. So I wasn't doing the team calls, and I wasn't doing the team training. I just thought, I'm going to take this and run with it and do my own thing. And that's what I did. And for 2-3 months, that was fine. And it worked for a couple months, and then the steam ran out. And then it got really frustrating for me and overwhelming, because I was running these 30-day challenge groups all by myself, month after month. And so then I got to a point where I wasn't getting as many participants, and it wasn't as fun anymore because it became more challenging to me. So that was one of my biggest challenges. And that's one of my biggest pieces of advice I give to any coach, is to use the resources that are right there in front of us. Is like, do the team trainings. They're priceless. Do the team, the weekly calls, because they help you more than you realize, and do the personal development. Those things are huge, and they help me more than I can ever say. So, what else? So those were my challenges when I got started. And
so what made you,
and I guess what,
oh, go ahead.
Oh no, you're fine.
I was going to say, what made you, like when you were struggling, what made you decide to keep going rather than to quit? Because I know there were some times in there where you were like, ugh. I just remember you being kind of down about it, and I wasn't sure if you would last. I thought she seems, discouraged. Like, what made you decide to keep going?
Well, I remember specifically about a year ago, was last January. I was on vacation. I remember sitting there, and I hadn't done anything with the business for a while. Like, I wasn't running challenge groups. And I remember sitting there thinking, okay, I'm either going to do this or I'm not. Like, I'm going to go home and I'm going to just cancel my coaching, and I'm just not going to do it. But then I thought, I got to give it one more shot. This was last January. So then I came back and I started posting again, and I started doing the vital behaviors. I started being consistent, and things started building again. And then last May, I ran a Mother's Day group that was big. And that's when I felt like things started going again, because at that point then I was like, okay, I'm not going to stop doing this, because there are people out there watching what I'm doing. And even though I'm not getting tons of likes and shares on all of these posts that I'm doing, people are watching me. And I could see that because people were messaging me, and I could see that when they got to a point in their life where they were ready to start, that I was the person that was on the top of their mind. So I started to see all that come into place. Everything that you had told me, Katie, the pumping the well, like all of that started to kind of happen. And that was last May. And then, and I started doing the team calls again. And then it was in September, I did Lindy's training group. I believe it was like a Push to Emerald, or one of her training groups that she did. And it was definitely challenging and pushed me outside my comfort zone. Like, I'm not a big share person. I don't like to put a ton of stuff out on social media. I don't like to seem vulnerable and imperfect. And it was all of those things. It was all like, be real, show your true self, and post, be more vulnerable and true on social media. And it was very challenging for me, but I did it. And as soon as I started doing more of that and following her training, everything started to fall into place. It was just like, that was the point where I actually started to build my own team, where I was having coaches come in, maybe for the discount, and then some of them immediately wanted to do the business. And so they saw what I was doing, and then I was, telling them how to duplicate efforts. And so I'm at the point now where I have 4 coaches that are on my team that are right now working together, and it's awesome. So now I'm like working to build my business, but also helping them to do what I'm doing. And it's awesome. And I love it. And it's really exciting. So, but yeah, I definitely had the ups and downs. Like I said, a year ago, last January, I was about ready to pull the plug on this whole thing. And that's how quickly it can change, because if you just start doing the trainings and you start doing the personal development is huge too. As soon as I started doing that, like you need that in those times where you feel like things aren't good and you're just down and out and you're like, I don't think this is for me anymore. But then the personal development really helps you to remember why you're doing it in the first place and why this is such a unique opportunity for you. So, I mean, that's how it helped me. So I love my personal development. I listen to it every morning in the car.
What do you listen to right now? What's your favorite?
Well, actually, right now I'm doing Every Day of Friday. I'm actually reading that one.
Oh,
but
awesome.
Of course, like Darren Hardy.
Mm-hmm.
Darren Hardy is one of my favorites. So I listen to Compound Effect and then also Entrepreneurial Roller Coaster. So those were 2 that I really liked. So
I'm listening to that right now, and for the 3rd time. I'm just obsessed with it. He's just so funny and easy to listen to, isn't he? It helps. So tell us what.
Yeah, as soon as I finish the first one, I need to do this.
Yeah.
No, I was just going to say, as soon as I finish Compound Effect, I wanted something else.
Yeah, I know. Me too. So tell me about, or tell us about, like, what do you see for yourself with this opportunity? Because it does take, at the beginning, it takes a lot of like confidence in yourself and just vision casting to be able to kind of know where you want to go with this. Because it's not immediate. You're not there. This is not an immediate success thing, but like the compound effect, a little bit all the time, it starts to snowball. But tell us, hi buddy, tell us what for yourself with this business.
So what should I explain again? How it's.
Tell us your goals. Like, where do you see yourself in a year or 2 with this business?
Okay. So yeah, right now, so at the beginning of this year, I set a goal for myself to where I wanted to achieve Success Club 10 every month. And so that's my big goal for the year. But ultimately, I've got a growling dog over here too. I would love to be able to do this full time. That would be my ultimate goal by the end of this year. I want to attend more live events and get more training. And like I said, I just want to I would love to have the financial freedom and the flexibility of my kids. So that's my goal, is to keep building the way I've been building and get there, hopefully in a year. That would be nice.
Awesome. And how has this business impacted your life?
I think it's kind of filled a void that my full-time job now isn't fulfilling. Like I said, it's something that I truly am passionate about and was before I even started. Like health and fitness and nutrition have always been things that are important to me and that they come naturally to me and I love. So it doesn't feel like work. It's like something I want to get up in the morning and do. I feel like that's really helped me. It's been a positive thing in my life that's really helped fulfill what my other job maybe has been lacking.
Yeah, our stories they remind me so much. Yours reminds me so much of mine. I forget how much they parallel. I mean, everything you're saying, I'm like, yeah, that was me. So anything else that you want to share, Katie, about your journey, or any last, words of advice?
I think that we touched on most of it. I mean, I think, my biggest words of advice are just connecting with the team. I think that was just what made the difference for me. And like, also just deciding to go all in. Like, I don't think you can be successful in this business truly if you are just doing it on the side and doing it as a hobby. And if you're just posting once or twice a month about something health and fitness related, I think you have to decide to go all in and do success. And don't be scared.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if you're only dipping your toes in, it's not gonna happen.
That's right, man. That's such great advice. It's like you're gonna get what you put into it. You're gonna get out what you put in, and if you're only putting in a little, you're only gonna get out a little. I love that, going all in, and I love your honesty when you talk about how being vulnerable was hard. And it is, and I'm kind of experiencing this right now, where most of the time I don't have trouble being too vulnerable, but every once in a while, you get some haters and some people who, find what we're doing annoying. Yeah. They're really just insecure and jealous, and that's the way of the world. But most of the time I'm fine. Every once in a while it gets to me, and, I kind of want to be like, you kind of want to hide and pull back. But if you do this with your business, then those are the results that you'll get. So those are the times when you really need to stay consistent and dig into personal development, which is what I am doing to pull myself out of that. And just kind of put your blinders on and know that I have a goal, and it doesn't really matter what they think. They have nothing to do with me achieving my goal. And that usually gets me out of it, and hopefully gets you guys out of it too. But I know that it is hard to be vulnerable. And one more thing about that, I was talking to Lindy about this last night, because she's my coach, and I was struggling, and she's like, listen, our business is unique from people who sell, Scentsy and makeup and those other, Jamberry nails, those other MLM companies, because you don't have to, nobody's going to check on you in the morning and say, did that eyeshadow, you can't overdose on eyeshadow and have a problem with the scent you're using. Oh my gosh, it just didn't work and I couldn't commit to it. And there's less investment. And the people that sell those things, I'm not knocking them at all. I think it's great, but it's about the product. We are about more than that. And you have to be really vulnerable to take on those characteristics, right, of a health and fitness coach. It's more vulnerable because you're saying, I'm trying to live this lifestyle. I want to help you because I'm trying to do this too. And it's just putting yourself in a much more vulnerable place than those other companies require. It takes a special person. Not everybody can do this, but that means that it is challenging. It is challenging at times, but I think that's part of the beauty of it. So that's my soapbox. But thank you, Katie. That was really, really helpful. I love hearing your story, and I think your testament is so powerful to what being plugged into the team can do, because it's really easy to not be on calls. I mean, it's really easy. We're all busy, and we all have stuff waiting for us. So it's easy to not do it, but it's important to do it. You get a physical kind of connection, seeing your faces and knowing that we're in this together and hearing each other's voices that you just don't have on the computer. So you guys know the power of it. I mean, you're on, and just keep sharing that with your team, the importance of being on these live calls and live events. So thank you so much. And does anybody have any questions for Katie? You can unmute your line if you do.
I have a question. I was just wondering how many hours you're putting in now, because you're working full time as well, right?
Yes. I work 36 hours a week at my current job. So I think now I'm probably putting in still less than 5 hours a week as a coach. Because now that I have a team that I'm working with, running my challenge groups is a team effort. So, we're all working together. And so the challenge groups are very turnkey now, and we each split a week up. And so that's what we're doing. And then I'm just doing my regular posts, throughout the week. And I do try to connect with my team every so often. And then I've been doing some fit clubs here and there, but I'm really most of the time doing probably 5 hours or less per week. And that's about what it's always, I've done more now, I guess, than I was doing in the beginning, but probably since things have started going really well, I think it's probably been, right around there, 5 hours.
Good question. Anybody else? Okay. If you guys have other questions, you can definitely message Katie afterwards. And I think that's a wrap. It's 8:29. We did really good. Thanks, Katie, so much, and thank you guys for being on the call. Let's end the month strong, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye. Thank you.